Ladies and gentlemen, it's week 16 of the 2017 NFL season, and that means one big thing. Playoff seeding is getting very tight and very confusing. So let's break it down. All right, I'm going to start with the AFC, and we're going to start by talking about the teams that are currently out of the playoff race. They have no shot to get in. They should just really start getting ready for the draft. And that list of teams consists of the Browns, which is obvious, the Colts, the Texans, the Broncos, the Bengals, and the Jets. The Jets were just knocked out this past week, so that rounds up the AFC teams that are currently out of the race. Teams currently in the hunt for the AFC are the Dolphins, the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Ravens. And if the season were to end today, the number 6 seed would be the Buffalo Bills, the number 5 seed would be the Tennessee Titans, the number 4 seed would be the Kansas City Chiefs, the Jacksonville Jaguars would be the number 3 seed, the number 2 would be the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the number 1 seed with home field advantage throughout the playoffs would be the New England Patriots. Moving over to the teams that are out of the playoff race in the NFC, that list consists of the New York Giants, the Bears, the 49ers, the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, the Redskins, and the Packers. Teams still in the hunt for the NFC playoff race are the Cowboys, the Seahawks, and the Detroit Lions. And if the season were to end today, the number 6 seed in the NFC would be the Atlanta Falcons, the number 5 seed would be the Carolina Panthers, the 4 seed would be the New Orleans Saints, the 3 seed would be the Los Angeles Rams, the 2 seed would be the Minnesota Vikings, and the number 1 seed in the NFC with home field advantage throughout the playoffs would be the Philadelphia Eagles. As far as the teams in the hunt in the AFC, I do think that only the Baltimore Ravens have a shot at getting in, and that is because their last 2 games are against the Colts and the Bengals, so I anticipate that they are going to win out, and I think that the Bills will keep their spot, but the Titans will actually get knocked out. Their last 2 games are against the Jaguars and the Rams, so there's a really good chance that they're going to lose out, and they're going to lose that number 5 spot, so I do think that it's going to end up with the Baltimore Ravens in the playoff race and not the Tennessee Titans, but I do think the Bills will make it in. None of the other teams in the hunt will make it in, though. That Chargers loss to, who was that? Kansas City on Saturday night. That was huge. That basically just sealed the division for them. For the teams in the hunt in the NFC, I don't think that any of them are going to be able to make it in that race for those, 4, 5, and 6 spots from all those teams in the NFC South. It's just way too competitive. All those teams are going to make it into the playoffs. The Falcons just need to win. They get a playoff berth then. Same with Carolina. And then the Saints can actually win the division if they win either their next 2 games. That's not a guarantee this week as they're facing the Falcons. And if they do lose, then all they need to do is beat the Buccaneers next week, which shouldn't really be that much of a test, and they will win the division. So teams in the hunt right now in the NFC, they can call it quits. Their season is over. And now we get to the good stuff. My thoughts on what the final playoff seeding is going to be after the end of Week 17 at the end of the regular season. Okay, for the AFC, I have the number 1 seed going to the New England Patriots. That's my dog. I have the number 1 seed going to the New England Patriots. I think that's just going to be the case because, for one, they already have the head-to-head against the Steelers from this last week, and 2, they're facing the Jets and the Bills the last 2 weeks, so they're probably going to win out. They're going to take the number 1 seed and get home field advantage. The 2 seed I have the Jaguars. They're probably going to win out their games, but so are the Steelers. But the Jaguars have that head-to-head against the Steelers from earlier in the season when they just walloped on them and Big Ben threw 5 interceptions. So I think the Jags get a bye and go to the divisional round. 3, I got the Steelers after that. Number 4, I have the Chiefs. They're definitely going to win the AFC West after they beat the Chargers. Number 5, I have the Baltimore Ravens. I expect the Tennessee Titans probably to lose out and the Ravens to win 1 or 2 of their next games. I guess both. But the Ravens have a head-to-head against the Buffalo Bills this season, so I had to knock the Bills down to the number 6 seed, but they will still probably make the playoffs as well. And finally, I have my NFC picks for what I think the seeding is going to be at the end of the regular season. As much as it pains me to say this as a Vikings fan, I do think the Eagles are going to get the number 1 seed and get that home field advantage. There's just basically no chance that they lose out. Even if the Vikings win out, if the Eagles win either of their next 2 games, they clinch that home field advantage. Saying that, though, I do still think the Vikings are going to get the number 2 seed. They have the head-to-head against the Rams, the Saints, and the Falcons. So if the Panthers lose either of their next 2 games, which is possible because I think they're playing NFC South opponents in both, then the Vikings will have the number 2 seed. I think the Rams are going to stay ahead of everyone. They've been killing it lately. So I have them at the number 3 seed. 4 seed, I have the Saints. They have a really good chance to win their division. They just need to, as I said earlier, they need to win a game, but I forgot to say that the Panthers need to lose a game for them to win the South as well. But even if they do end up with the same record, the Saints do have 2 head-to-heads this season against the Panthers, so that's why I have the Saints at the number 4. Panthers I have at the number 5, and I have the Falcons at number 6. So actually, from what it is right now, today on December 19th, I think things are going to stay the same. There may be some weird wins or losses or something going on with some of these teams, but I think with the head-to-heads and all the other tiebreakers that are going to be going on, I think things are going to stay the same. And there you go. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. I hope all this kind of cleared things up for you right now as the season comes to an end and things get a little hectic. I hope you enjoyed, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.